6 Philadelphia officers shot in a hail of gunfire. The standoff continues with a heavily armed man now going into its 7th hour. Breaking news just seconds away at 11.
Now, ABC 7 News at 11. On your side. We begin with a breaking news alert.
We have an officer shot, and they're still being shot at.
Please send additional car immediately. Send additional car.
Last transmission right there from an officer. You can hear the gunfire in the background. Gunshots going off, hundreds of them, as the police were asking for backup.
At least 6 officers were wounded. At this point, that standoff does continue at this hour. 2 officers who were trapped inside just safely got out.
Now, ABC 7 has team coverage tonight, but let's start by getting you caught up right now on what happened here. It all started very early this afternoon, about 4 o'clock, 4:30. Police were on the scene there. It all started with a team that was there serving a narcotics warrant. Then what happened was the officers went in and they arrested 3 people, put them in handcuffs. Somebody in the room next door came out with a gun and opened fire. At that point, the officers began to retreat. 6 of them had been shot before police swarmed the street outside and a standoff ensued. It is believed that the man inside has a high-powered rifle and a stockpile of ammunition. A short time ago, the chief and the mayor both went before the microphones to give an update. Here's what was said.
And I can't say enough about what all the responders did, but most importantly what SWAT did and all their support, Homeland Security and everyone there that was involved, as well as everyone that assisted in negotiations.
Whether it's our 6 officers who were shot or it's some 15, 17, 20-year-old kid on the streets of Philadelphia who gets shot with guns that shouldn't be in people's hands. And it's aggravating, it's saddening, and it's just something that we need to do something about.
Now, to give you a sense of where this is happening, it is about 4.5 miles north of City Center and Independence Hall. The neighborhood is called Tioga Nicetown. And right now, Brian Sheehan from our Sinclair sister station reports from the scene.
This is still a very active scene here in North Philadelphia. However, breaking within the past few minutes, we learned that 2 Philadelphia police officers who were trapped inside the home with the suspected gunman for several hours were safely freed. It is believed that the gunman is the only individual who remains inside the home at this hour. Now, here is what we know so far. This all unfolded around 4:30 this afternoon when Philadelphia police arrived at this home here in the distance to serve a narcotics warrant. That is when they were met with gunfire. Police exchanged gunfire and were able to escape through windows. Now, the CBS station here in Philadelphia is reporting that at least 30 officers discharged their weapons. That is when this very chaotic and dangerous scene got underway. Now, we are told that 6 Philadelphia police officers have been shot. However, the good news out of all of this, we're told their injuries are non-life-threatening. In North Philadelphia, I'm Brian Sheehan reporting.
I want you to see something right now. One of the moments where officers came on fire, this is very scary. It gives you an idea. They're huddled behind the cars here, but look over on the wall, and in a few seconds you're going to see a couple of the shots impacting the wall and taking a chunk out of the brick. Now watch here. You can see it right there. That's when the officers start to really try and get low. They're across the street from the gunman on the other side. There were a number of shots ringing out. In fact, neighbors said they heard over 100 shots, and some of those were officers also returning fire.
And you can also see the camaraderie rushing to help those wounded officers who were hit, rushing for cover and to get that officer out. Again, Philadelphia police have said all 6 injured are expected to survive. They are already back home out of the hospital tonight. Their injuries were not life-threatening when they were rushed to the hospital.
Now, one thing that you couldn't miss was the size and scope of the Philadelphia Police Department. It is 6,300 strong with another 800 civilian employees helping out. And according to its website, it is the 4th biggest in the country. It serves the entire county, home to an approximately 1.5 million people. And many in law enforcement do say that serving a warrant is among the most dangerous part of the job. In fact, tonight I got a chance to speak with Loudoun County Sheriff Mike Chapman, 40 years in law enforcement, more than 20 years as a DEA field officer. Here's what he had to say about these kinds of situations.
Well, I'll tell you, narcotics search warrants are probably one of the most dangerous things law enforcement can do. The thing is you can plan as much as you want, but you never really know what to expect. And you do try to prepare for, just about any case scenario, but there are inevitabilities that you can't always control.
Now, one of the few ways to literally take you inside these situations is through listening to the radio transmissions that were recorded. Listen to one of the police officers who was one of the first on the scene. Listen.
We were pinned down on the second floor with 3 individuals handcuffed. You could hear the male downstairs moving in the first floor.
That is terrifying. They could not get out of that building because the guy doing all the shooting was the one downstairs. So they were held up there with the 3 people in handcuffs. Now, Heather Graff continues our team coverage with more insight into this very dangerous job. Heather.
Well, Jonathan, we came here to Annapolis tonight to talk to a retired police officer named Jason Johnson, a man who spent 20 years with the Prince George's County Police Department and most recently served as Deputy Commissioner of the Baltimore Police Department. And here's what he had to say tonight in his own words about the scary situation playing out in Philadelphia.
Well, it's horrific. I mean, for the headline is 6 Philadelphia police officers shot while executing a search warrant, which is bad enough, but it's in a downtown area. It's 4:30 in the afternoon. There are lots of people. There's schools nearby, a daycare. You think about members of the public who unwittingly walk potentially into the path of gunfire. So it's horrifying. I mean, search warrants, particularly narcotic search warrants, are one of the most dangerous things police officers can do. Typically, that's why they're handled by SWAT teams or special tactical teams. They generally have to knock and announce that they are there, which certainly gives anyone inside enough of a heads up to be able to grab a weapon or whatever to defend their property or potentially to have a shootout with the police. So the goal for police now is really just to de-escalate the situation. If they have the opportunity to end it quickly without further violence, that they'll do that. But that they'll have trained negotiators on the scene trying to make contact with the person inside. The rule of thumb for police is that time is on our side. If we can calm things down and prevent further violence, we're winning. So that's what they're going to try to do.
And that again was Jason Johnson, and he now serves as president of a nonprofit called the Law Enforcement Legal Defense Fund. And there is no doubt that he and police officers across the country will be paying close attention to tonight's developments out of Philadelphia and hoping for a peaceful resolution. We're live tonight in Annapolis. Heather Graff, ABC 7 News.
Heather, thank you. And the Philadelphia Phillies hosted a baseball game tonight just 10 miles south of that shooting scene. The team tweeting this in support tonight. Our thoughts are with the members of the Philadelphia Police Department injured today and everyone working to resolve the situation currently happening in North Philadelphia. And Maryland Governor Larry Hogan tweeted this. We stand in solidarity with the Philadelphia Police Department. This is another reminder of the risks and sacrifices our law enforcement officers make every day to keep us safe.
Now, clearly, this is still a very fluid situation in Philadelphia, and the standoff does continue. Stay with ABC 7 for updates throughout the night should any news break. We'll have updates on Good Morning Washington. You can also download the free ABC 7 News app because we do push alerts. As soon as something happens, we will notify you.
And new tonight, he was a husband, a teacher, and an Army veteran. Sadly, John Lee was killed pursuing another passion, hitting the road on his motorcycle. Police say he died at the hands of a drunk driver. And earlier, the biker community took a ride in his memory. Annalisa Gale was there.
This vigil here in Woodbridge comes a day after police announced that they are upgrading the charges for the 26-year-old involved in the crash. She is now charged with aggravated involuntary manslaughter. John Lee loved the sound of his motorcycle. He spent a lot of time with members of this group at least twice per week. Police say on Sunday morning, Lee was riding his 2018 Ducati on Dale Boulevard when Katrina Thomas lost control of her Toyota Camry, hitting Lee's motorcycle before they both slammed into nearby trees. Lee died at the scene.
There's going to be that little hole at every meeting that we do.
Investigators say they found an open container of alcohol and marijuana in Thomas's car following the crash.
Well, I'm glad she charged with something because she took her friend away. I hope she goes to jail for a long time. I don't care.
Lee, who is an Army veteran, worked as a software engineer and a part-time middle school teacher, according to his friend Jerry.
Please think about us. You know, we're not hooligans. You know, we all have jobs. We have family. Please don't drink and drive. Take the cab if you need to.
John Lee leaves behind a wife. The woman charged in the crash is expected to be in court on October 24th. In Woodbridge, Annalisa Gale, ABC 7 News.
So new at 11 o'clock, a man has died after being hit by a car in Northwest. This happened just last night before 10 o'clock. Joshua Wilson died today at a hospital. Police say the driver took off after hitting Wilson, who just happened to be walking in the road. So now officers are looking for a 2012 Dodge Challenger.
With summer winding down and children back in school, police nationwide are taking part in a yearly campaign against impaired driving. That campaign will include $13 million on public service announcements on television, radio, and social media. The time around Labor Day is one of the deadliest times of the year when it comes to drunk driving crashes.
And good evening, everyone. I want to show you a beautiful day today. It was a little bit on the toasty side, but watch this from Dirt Farm Brewing over here. The moonrise tonight. Nice full moon out there. It is the full sturgeon moon, and as you look at it live here right now from Bellhaven Country Club, beautiful. It's very, very bright out there tonight with very few clouds, and that's what we expect for the rest of the evening. 78 here at midnight. By the time you walk out the door tomorrow morning, 75. It will be a warm start with more storms in our forecast tomorrow. The greater chance for some stronger storms out to the west. We'll break that down hour by hour and look ahead to a very hot weekend coming up in just minutes, Jonathan.
All right, Bill, we'll see you in a few. Coming up next at 11 o'clock, the Little League World Series sign-stealing controversy. The tournament finally weighs in, and so does a former Youth League umpire.
Plus, D.C. police making an arrest in the most recent attack on a transgender woman in the city. But the department still needs your help.
And ABC 7 still following breaking news in Philadelphia. No more hostages in the home, but a standoff does continue after 6 officers were shot. All began at 4:30 this afternoon with a team serving a narcotics warrant. The good news, all 6 wounded officers are recovering now at home. We'll be right back.
Back now with breaking news, ABC 7 following that breaking news coming out of Philadelphia tonight where 6 officers were shot. A standoff starting at 4:30 when a team of police tried to serve a narcotics warrant north of the city center. A live look at the scene there. First responders still there. And tonight, those 6 officers who were shot, they are no longer in the hospital. They're at home recovering with their families. However, this standoff does continue. That's why all those officers are still out there right now as the man inside has a stockpile of arms. We'll keep you updated as this situation develops.
Well, police in the district arresting a robbery suspect in an attack on a transgender woman in Northeast. This was video of what was happening. The attack happened August 2nd at a business on Minnesota Avenue right near East Capitol Street. The victim is just out of camera on the lower right of your screen. And you can see the surveillance video. These 3 individuals right here are confronting that person. Police would not confirm to ABC 7 if the 17-year-old arrested is the one shown in the video.
And 7 is on your side with a consumer alert now. Stock markets absolutely falling off a cliff today. The Dow plummeting 800 points on recession fears. Shorter-term bond yields signaling that could be on the horizon the next year or two if trends hold true to the last 9 recessions. Take a look at the numbers here along the 3 major indices in the United States, each one down about 3% today.
All right, now look at this. It is the video that helped fuel the Rhode Island Little League team scandal. An umpire calling time after the opposing team accused the runner on second base of stealing pitch signs and then relaying them to the batter. The team was warned. Little League defines this as unsportsmanlike conduct if proved, and it also can result in ejection or suspension. Well, we spoke with the owner of the Mid-Atlantic Officials, which train and recruit umpires from Little League level all the way up to college.
I kind of think that it's part of the game. However, I would also say that if Little League Baseball has a rule that prohibits it, then I am 100% behind the rule of the organization that is responsible for that level of baseball.
Yeah, rules are rules. That's John Porter, by the way. He's an umpire who's coached thousands of games. Now, the sign-stealing scandal has blown up. Little League International now is responding in a statement, and in part, the organization says it, quote, has full confidence that the umpires and tournament officials handled this situation appropriately. The matter they consider now is closed. While we're talking about it, Loudoun South Little League is in Williamsport ready for Game 1 tomorrow.
It's coming down, but first they get to make some new friends and hang out with teams from all over the world. John Gonzalez takes us to the festivities.
The Grand Slam Parade going through the downtown streets of Williamsport, PA tonight before the first pitch tomorrow, and that first game is scheduled to be our very own Loudoun boys, the Loudoun South Little League. They play out of Aldie, Virginia. Well, some 200 miles from there, they are here. And the first Virginia team to play in the Little League World Series in 25 years. We caught up with them before the parade at their team picnic. Tell me about this team.
Well, I'd say we are a very hardworking team. We've never taken anything for granted. Our coaching staff is great. Coach Bowden, Coach Triplett, Coach Yates. We're all here to do our job. I think if we play really hard, we can do this.
Now, it's the first time a Virginia team has been in the Little League World Series since 1994. You weren't even born yet. How exciting is it, the run you guys had to get here? It was tough. You struggled. You clawed back. And here you are in Williamsport.
Feels very great. I feel very fortunate to be in this position right now. I'm very happy. I think this is going to be a great time.
And that team on their float, that's the team from Rhode Island. That's who the Loudon boys will be playing tomorrow, weather permitting. Storms might be moving in tomorrow, but weather permitting, they will play at 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon on ESPN. In Williamsport, PA, John Gonzalez, ABC 7 News.
The first team from Virginia in 25 years.
Scattered showers and storms possible up there. We were tracking that out a little earlier, so there could be some delays for that game. We'll just keep an eye on that. Temperature's right around 80 during the game time at 3 o'clock. So, beautiful moon out there tonight.
Yeah.
Really, really stunning moon.
Oh, wow.
And look at that with the plane in front.
That plane looks so small.
It does.
Is it? What part of the moon is that plane flying to?
Aside with the cheese.
I didn't realize we had flights that went there these days.
Yeah, there's direct flights out of the moon.
Tranquility.
Going out of Dulles, though.
To parts at 11.
It seems to be going to the dark side.
It does. So that's the full sturgeon moon from Skytrack 7, catching that tonight. Gorgeous. And man, because we have very few clouds out there, look how bright things are. This is what it looks like from our tower camera. We're looking, the moon's just behind the banner there. We are looking out to the south from Roslyn, looking over Pentagon City. But it's the kind of moonlight you go out tonight and you can read a book or a newspaper. I mean, literally by the light of the moon. Temperature-wise, very comfortable. It's a little bit on the humid side. But what we're expecting, no rainfall tonight, just high humidity. We're sitting into the 70s for those temperatures. Scattered showers and storms, they are going to be likely during the day for you tomorrow, and then we have the 7th heat wave of the year ahead with the heat index value, the feels-like temperature, 100 degrees or greater. That starts Saturday, maybe Friday, but by Saturday and Sunday, specifically Sunday, high temperatures are going to be up into the mid-90s. We'll track that out for you in a second. But let me get you your futurecast tomorrow. Out the door, 8 o'clock in the morning. I don't expect rain for your morning drive. Temperatures in the mid to low 70s. The only thing tomorrow morning, a spotty shower potentially, but some patchy areas of fog. That should be about it. But then during the day, I think it's a partly to mostly cloudy sky at times with some early off and on showers through about noon. Temperatures by noon, 80 to 83, somewhere in there. I don't think we're going to get all that warm tomorrow. We're going to cap it out into the mid-80s, and that's primarily due to some added cloud cover in the afternoon, the potential for some pop-up showers, and also just how sticky it is. I mean, those dew points are way up, the moisture content. I know you felt it if you went out today. Then by 5 o'clock tomorrow evening, we'll continue to be tracking showers and the possibility of a few storms. Same thing with 7 o'clock and even 9 o'clock tomorrow night. But it will be winding down, and the temperatures, they start out in the mid-70s, go up to about the mid-80s, and then by this time tomorrow night, they're still back into the mid to upper 70s. A very little temperature spread as we head into the day tomorrow. But that is changing. Look at our trend. 85 tomorrow, 89 on Friday, 93 on Saturday, mid-90s on Sunday, and that will easily feel like we are in the triple digits, and then 92 as we drop on into Monday. So there's that heat wave. 3 consecutive days of 90 degrees or greater. I think it's a pretty good, pretty safe bet that we do it Saturday, Sunday, Monday. We may hit 90 degrees on Friday. We'll watch that. Right now we're going to forecast 89. But tomorrow, a better chance than not to pick up a few showers and storms. They will pass on by, and they will be popping up around the area. Just some lingering stuff Friday. Same thing with Saturday, Sunday. The chance is very low. So we'll say just a stray thunderstorm. Then we'll watch some more storms as we head on into the middle of next week. We'll be right back.
Well, we need a little good news, and how is this for cute? The Rosamund Gifford Zoo in Syracuse, New York, posting photos of its newest additions. Say aw, there you go. 2 rare Amur leopard cubs. There are only 84 estimated left in the entire world in the wild. Born in June, the public got their first chance to see the cubs today. They don't have names yet, but the zoo will hold a vote soon. So put in your votes.
So cute. All right, you're thinking about going to the Montgomery County Agricultural Fair? How about the Monster Truck Show? Come on now. That's the fun time. Woohoo! Those things fly. Our own reporter, Montgomery County reporter Kevin Lewis, he helped announce the rally tonight. He played MC at a truck show. I didn't know that monster trucks had MCs, but there you go. Tomorrow, our very own Maryland Bureau Chief Brad Bell has the honors. You can stop by the fair and meet the ABC 7 team. We will be right back.
And now, the Toyota Sports Desk, brought to you by your local Toyota dealers.
So when asked about who's starting tomorrow, Jay Gruden says, I'll let them know when I let them know. They might already know. I don't know. I do have a plan. Everybody knows the plan. We're just trying to keep it in-house here and make sure everyone goes as planned. So in English, that means we still don't know who's starting tomorrow. We do know rookie Dwayne Haskins needs a little more work if he has any intention on starting week 1 against the Eagles. It was rough for him against the Browns. It was open season on him completely, but his teammates have been lifting him up all week.
Everybody's just been telling him, you know, he's good. He's made mistakes, but we all see that potential there in him. So he doesn't need to beat himself up, you know, too much about it. He came in 2 days later when we practiced and just tried to get back to it.
Well, get your football fix right here as ABC 7 is your Ravens station. Baltimore in Game 2 hosting Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. Game time Thursday at 7:30 with our pregame show starting at 7 o'clock. In baseball, Nats and Reds with the 4 p.m. start today. Nats trying to sweep these guys, and it's safe to say all is well, especially in the 5th inning. Back-to-back homers starting with Adam Eaton with this one, his 8th of the season. Then Rendon homered right after that. Kurt Suzuki hit a bomb shortly after. This game was madness. Nats get the sweep, the final 17-7. Also, the Mystics beat the Seattle Storm tonight, 88-59. So there's another blowout. We'll be right back.
Before we go, I want to give you a quick update on what's happening in Philadelphia. The standoff there does continue.
This is after 6 officers were shot earlier today. It started about 7 hours ago, around 4:30, where narcotics officers tried to serve a warrant.
That did not go well. A hail of gunfire opened up. 6 officers were wounded, and at one point, 2 of the officers were stuck up on a 2nd story with the gunman on the 1st story. Now, again, those officers got themselves out of that building safely, so it's just a standoff situation. No more shots have been fired recently, so hopefully they can get a peaceful resolution out of this, but it has been a very violent day in North Philly. You can always download the ABC 7 News app for updates all around the clock, 24/7, or you can go to the website at WJLA.com.
In the meantime, thank you for joining us tonight. Stay with Good Morning Washington for updates from Philadelphia. Have a good night, everyone.